Hello, lawyer Kpebu, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Kpebu. Okay, I do not know if you're muted, but if you're muted, you could kindly unmute for us so we can have this quick conversation. But whilst we try to rectify that, Madam Ayana, let me get your thought on this.
I'm here.
Okay, you're here. All right. So I'll come back to you very shortly. Mr. Kpebu, if we can see you right now, and my first question to you is really, what does this look like? This is a man who's been there since January 2025, and the government of Ghana, agencies here have been trying to get him. We're learning that his visa is expected to expire in February, and yet in January we're seeing ICE detaining him. What does this look like? Also, bearing in mind what the statement the lawyers issued yesterday.
Okay, so number one, at least it's a small good step. When I say small good step, what I mean is that we don't have too many details yet, because it appears they are yet to give us those details. But at least the fact that he's in custody is a small good test. A step. In law, you can be in custody, but the journey it will take for them to release him to us is a very complex one, the extradition one. I think I heard one of our respected panelists say hopefully by end of the month we'll have good news. I'm afraid if we are using extradition, it will be too soon to have good news, because they are going to go to court. That's going to be a very bloody battle. Ofori Atta doesn't look like he wants to come, without a fight. So the court processes, etc., are going to take us years. So it's not an easy fight, unless at any point in time, he finally throws in the towel and says he wants to come. But if he doesn't want to come and he wants us to go through due process to bring him, it's not 1 or 2 or 3 months matter. Even the date they will appear in court, like to start the case itself, it will take months. They just don't start like that. In America, there are long queues. Sometimes in Ghana, we make opinions and it looks like we are the only people who don't get corrupt people jailed in 5 months, 2 months, etc. In America, there's a queue. So your case, you can be arrested today, but the case will not be heard immediately. It will take years, yes. So they also have issues. So let's wait and see. Eventually, we'll get the timelines as to when the court proceedings will start. Then my second point is that the matter about the visa. So it would appear that the visa is expired, because you see in the letter, they say that he has applied to adjust his state. The plain meaning of it is that he wants to be a permanent resident. I mentioned it at least about 2 months ago, that I had information that he had applied to be a permanent resident, right? So there you have it. So people of Ghana, what I was saying, it wasn't a lie. Now you have his lawyers admit that he has applied to adjust his stay. That word, the phrase, adjust his stay, is an euphemism for saying he wants to be a permanent resident. That's usually the status you'll be given, and then after years, generally it's 5 years before you become a citizen. So you become a permanent resident, and then usually it takes about 5 years before you become a citizen. So that's the journey. So you have it. When I said Ofori Atta is applied.
Hello, Mr. Kpebu.
Sources. No, if I disclose all my source, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, your line broke a little bit, but we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
So I'll say at the time I disclosed that Ofori Atta had applied for permanent residence, some Ghanaians were asking for my source. And I said, no, I couldn't disclose the source, because if I did, then very soon all my sources would dry. Because if somebody gives you information in confidence and you come on the media and start disclosing everything, then very soon people will not take me into confidence. So here you have it. The lawyers have admitted that he is applying to stay in America. Now, so it tells you that the visa.
Hello, Mr. Kpebu.
As a maximum, unless maybe for medical reasons or something else, then they can extend. But usually 6 months. And since Ofori Atta went, even if you have a 5-year visa, so you use a 5-year visa. it doesn't mean that when you enter America, you can live there for 5 years, usually 6 months. But maybe if by the end of the 6 months, you have a medical condition or something, that you explain to them, then, of course, when I say explain, they will ask for documentation and proof, etc. Then they can extend it. So once their own letter says that his visa is expired, that is it. So maybe we'll no longer go with the February visa story. Let's go with what the lawyers have admitted, that yes, his visa is expired, but he has applied for to adjust his stay, which I'm saying the meaning of.
Mr. Kpebu, your line is not helping us. I think earlier I saw you were driving. If you could stabilize a bit for us so we can have this conversation and conclude. But I want to read a bit of that letter to you. And the paragraph 2 said that Mr. Ofori Atta has a pending petition for adjustment of status, which authorizes a person to stay in the U.S. legally past the period of validity of the visa under U.S. law. A change of status by this method is common. Looking at the circumstances under which the lawyers and Mr. Ofori Atta himself are working towards this, do you see a possibility of this succeeding?
Well, I don't have enough facts to say yes or no. We'll wait to see. But I can tell you that it's very difficult. It's a difficult case. It's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park at all. Because remember, we have applied to have him extradited. So now that ICE have arrested him, it means that presumably he's been arrested so that we'll now go on with the extradition proceedings. And under U.S. law, from the little that I have learned, okay, when we're doing Kpebu number 2 versus Attorney General number 2, for lawyers who want to follow, our Supreme Court, when they were deciding in Ghana that all offenses should be bailable, the case I took to court, one of them, that's the second case called, analyzed the U.S. cases and came to a conclusion that in the U.S., when you are arrested so that extradition proceedings will take place, they hardly grant you bail. They hardly. So lawyers can check Martin Kpebu number 2 versus Attorney General number 2. Our Supreme Court analyzed the U.S. cases and say in the U.S., if you get arrested as part of the processes to be extradited, they don't grant bail. It's hardly done. But they looked at our law and said, well, in Ghana, we want to go ahead of the Americans. If the suspect can give the necessary conditions, we should be able to grant bail. So in Ghana, you hear all offenses are bailable. All offenses are bailable. But in the U.S., when it comes to extradition, it's a very tall order. So his chances can be very slim based on the analysis the Supreme Court made.
Doesn't this support the point Madam Tete made earlier, that the government of Ghana knows why he's there, and even she going to the extent of concluding that there could be good news by end of this month? Couldn't that support that as compared to the picture you're painting, that it could be very difficult to an extent, it could take years?
Well, that's the point that I've made. So I'm looking at law on the theory, the law on paper. Extradition is a very complex matter. It's not, no, I'm not likely to shift my opinion. You see, I'm looking at the law, what it takes to extradite a person. Even in Ghana, you cannot get the extradition done within 1 month, much less in the US, where there is a longer queue. So it's okay. Beatrice, I'll be happier for it if you come by the end of January. Because we have 5 cases against him. And also there's a civil case where I sued him, okay, this same SML matter, asking for recovery of the money. I sued him on behalf of Ben Boakye's ASEP, African Center for Energy Policy, CDD, the Fourth Estate, etc. A number of NGOs, Enyona Mabuchi, about 6 plaintiffs. So we also have a lawsuit against him on this SML matter. So if he will come end of the month, it will be good news. But analyzing with law is difficult.
Analyzing.
No, in law, you cannot finish.
Analyzing with law is difficult. Let me ask you my last question, Mr. Kpebu. What do you anticipate, in as much as you admit that you do not have a lot of information, looking at the circumstances and the information we have so far, what do you anticipate as regards this extradition process and this new twist to it, detention by ICE?
Yeah, so what I anticipate is a long, drawn-out, bloody battle in court, yes. Because he's going to fight tooth and nail. He's going to fight tooth and nail. So far, based on the strictures, based on the tricks he has shown, he says he will come today, he doesn't come, and etc. You remember the stories the OSP was giving us, those cock and bull stories. And you know, we've not spared Kisi Agyapong for his role in allowing Ofori Atta to flee. So if you look at the story from last year, January, a year ago, and all the stories, oh, I was going to do surgery. He said he was going to do surgery. The surgery didn't come on, and he never informed the special prosecutor and never came to Ghana, etc. If we use those facts to analyze, then he's going to fight it in court. He's not going to just throw in the towel. But I always mention that at any point in time, maybe when Akufo Addo and co prevail upon him, because, you know, Ghanaians are also asking Akufo Addo that, what is he saying about his cousin not coming? Were we not here when he said nobody in his government was corrupt, etc. So now that we have corruption cases against Ofori Atta, and actually I don't use the word cousin, I use brother, because in Twi there's no word for cousin, it's brother. So now that Ofori Atta, Akufo Addo's brother is facing 5 corruption cases, it's time for Akufo Addo to step in and ask him to come, because Akufo Addo, we kept complaining that Ofori Atta is corrupt. Ofori Atta is corrupt. And Akufo Addo kept denying that, no, nobody in his government was corrupt. So now we have it. Now we have it. So Akufo Addo has to prevail upon him. So if they prevail upon him, yes, early good news. But if we say we should use law, no, I don't see this happening in less than 9 months.
But do you also think that perhaps with ICE coming in now, there's a possibility that he could be deported soon?
Okay, so saying that he's overstayed his visa, so they'll just do it. Remember that the lawyer is stated in the letter, and I have some experience of it, that he has a pending application. Oh, if they choose to deport him soon, go, oh, well and good. You know, Donald Trump's America is a bit different from the America we usually know. So if they want to say that, look, notwithstanding his application, they just want to deport him, they will not do extradition, okay, it will be better for us. We will be happy. So what Madam Tete is saying, if hopefully, well, I don't want to go too much into it, so say, it is that they will just do a normal deportation because he has violated his visa. We'll be happy for it. But I see the letter also states it, and I also can say that the America I know, I mean, looking at those days we started going to America over 20 years ago, it was common that if you have an application for permanent residence and they've not yet granted, you could stay beyond the 6 months. Yeah, then there is a penalty. And those days it was about $1,000. Yeah, I remember over 20 years ago, that used to be at least the law that, you know, as the Ghanaian community, the discussions, and there were people who overstayed and got their permanent residence. Lots of Ghanaians, they weren't deported. But remember, I'm not a lawyer or a U.S. lawyer. I'm just a Ghanaian visiting America. So if Madam Tete's information is that we'll have good news, we should pray. But if we are analyzing hard law, it can be longer. I think we can leave it at that.
And perhaps my very last question, you've answered it partially though, but that is in relation to ordinary Ghanaians who overstayed their visas and still got the opportunity to have permanent residency. In the case of Ken Ofori Atta, I heard you say that it may be difficult. Was that to mean that they may not eventually end up getting that for him because of the circumstances surrounding his stay in particular?
When I said difficult, I was talking about the extradition proceedings, not his application for permanent residence. My point is that the extradition proceedings take long. It's not 1 or 2 months matter. That was the context in which I was saying that it may be difficult. Remember, the question was, that, oh, there will be good news at the end of the month. And I was saying, hey, it may be difficult because extradition takes quite a bit of time. It's not 1 or 2 or 3 months matter. But now, the argument, what is clearer to me, guessing from Madam Tete's submission, is that perhaps they would be looking at doing a simple deportation for violating his visa, not extradition because Ghana wants him. And I'm saying that, well, if under the law they want to just simply deport him because he's violated his visa, that too sounds a bit difficult because I've seen Ghanaians overstay because they had their visas pending. But I'm not a U.S. lawyer, so I'm just telling a story, what I've seen. I'm not qualified to speak on U.S. law. So if under the same law, they can deport somebody notwithstanding a pending application, for us it will inure to our benefit. So we will look at the results, not the U.S. law, because I'm not qualified to speak on the U.S. law.
Mr. Kpebu, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Frank Davis is one of the lawyers for Kennedy Ofori Atta. That's a former finance minister. He's been speaking to Joy News, giving some details about exactly how all of this played out when he was picked up and how he's doing as we speak. Take a look.
There is nothing to be of any significant concern to the legal team, because what has occasioned is detention, so to speak, is a purely immigration matter, which is common and routine. Indeed, for whatever reason, if your visa stay or period is about to lapse and you have reasonable belief that you have to remain in the jurisdiction of the country for an extended period, you are allowed to, as it were, put in a petition for your immigration status to be evaluated and determined. So it is customary with the U.S. immigration procedures and practices and processes. So it is nothing new. It is nothing new. So yes, the petition has been lodged with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is popularly known as the ICE, and they are reviewing the petition. In fact, the counterpart legal team, our counterpart legal team in the United States,
right,
the team that our Attorney General, the leader of the bar, has described as a very experienced and cracked legal team, is working on the petition. And in the fullness of time, a determination will be made one way or the other, based solely on the merit of the petition. So there is nothing to be worried. I will not speculate and speak on that. That is not the reason why you called me. So let us focus on why you called. I'm not able to speak to that proposition that we have filed for an extended or permanent residency in the United States. Whichever environment you find yourself, you learn to adapt. Like I always say, the good Lord God is keeping Ken Ofori Atta as he's keeping all of us. He will make do with the limitation of the circumstances now. And when the matter is determined, he will have his freedom and liberty today. So yes, it is not the best of facilities if you know that Caroline detention facility. But whatever it is, be that is made, that is where the circumstances of his stay have found it. So he will learn to abide. That should tell you the sincerity of the man we are talking about. You have just said something which is very poignant and significant. He could have opted for that option. But because he didn't have any intention to run away from this jurisdiction, he went purposely for a medical procedure. So that was why his visa, strictly speaking, his visa is supposed to lapse or determine on the 14th of February, St. Valentine's Day. But because he is still attending on to his medical procedure on the recuperative stage, he thought it wise to extend his stay so that he can still receive the best of medical treatment where he is. So yes, he could have opted for that option. But he didn't think it was necessary at the time, and it is not necessary now. Petition will be determined, and we will all know the outcome. The mere fact that he is in a detention facility will not absolve him of whatever medical treatment he's supposed to give. I mean, we all know the Americans and the developed democracies of this world. We see it in the films of it. They are given the very best of treatment. The movies are there for evaluate. They are given the very best of treatment. So it has nothing to do with whether he will run a shortage of medical treatment or medical attention. Whatever is supposed to be done for him to stay strong and healthy will be done. I believe in that. Whatever the government has to do in the enabling circumstances, I believe that as this matter is unfolding, I mean, they'll come out with their own state. But for now, whatever we say is limited to. But the circumstances for one to be put in a detention center are separate, distinct, and essentially different from whatever faces a particular individual.
Well, so that's Frank Davis. He's one of the lawyers for the former Finance Minister, Kennedy Agyapong Atta, and they did indicate a number of things, touching on the petition that Ken Ofori Atta has actually put in place, specifically about his status in the United States, which is the reason why he's actually being held in this detention center in the first place. You hear Frank Davis describe this detention center as not the very best of places.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.